Hey, so today I wanted to talk to you about every single person was born a visionary. They were. Let me make my point. So, when you were born, first you were in a zone of just discovery, right? You laid there, you couldn't walk, you looked around, and all of a sudden you started to translate what was happening. Like, what was your mom saying? What was your dad saying? Where were you sleeping? You were trying to wonder, like, why are you bundled up? What is a blanket? What is a pacifier? But pretty soon, as you start to grow and form, you start to move and you start to see things and start to translate it. And then you start to vision, you start to have a vision of yourself. You see other people walking and you start to say, well, I want to walk. And then as you start to grow a little bit and start to walk, maybe you start to watch TV, or maybe you started to go to a sports game. Or I remember as a young kid going to the it's called Raceway Park, watching the race cars, or going and seeing these big monster trucks, or maybe some of you football and baseball, and you started to vision and see yourself. Also, what was big back when I was a kid, I'm wondering, type it in the chat bar if it was free too. Wrestling was such a big thing, right? Jimmy Snuka and the Hulk Hogan and all this was a big thing. And as a kid, when you experience this, you had a vision of seeing yourself in the ring. You had a vision of seeing yourself in that monster truck. And so every single person was born a visionary. So what happens? Well, as you start to grow up, people start to help form you into this little box of what's possible and what's not possible. So you start to say to yourself, well, I guess I don't run fast, so I guess I will not be a world class runner. You start saying, well, I don't draw really well, so I guess I'm not going to be a Picasso. You say, I don't play football really well, I don't catch really well, so I guess I'm not going to be in the Super Bowl someday. And all of a sudden, your ability to vision yourself into this bigger life, into this thing that you desire, becomes a total life of restriction, a total life of, well, I guess I can't, I guess I shouldn't, I'm pretty sure I won't. And then you start, what happens is not seeing things of visioning for the future. All you see is survival of today. All you see is based off of the skill sets you have right now, because you have learned through time that if you try to see into the future, that's just a delusion. It's just a story. It's a fantasy that you tell yourself, that when you were a young kid, that, oh, I your reference point is, I remember I wanted to be a fireman, but that didn't become possible. I remember I wanted to become a doctor, and that didn't become possible. But what if you like chose to flip the whole thing on its head? What if you started to, maybe before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning, you spent a couple minutes and you started to say to yourself, let me sit here and vision my day, right? Let's just start with it. Could we start with the day? If a day is too much for you, like, just start and vision your next hour. The next hour, I see myself having an amazing shower and getting dressed and walking outside, an incredible ride to work, whatever it is. And then as you get better, start to vision out and say, you know what? I see tomorrow as a really good day. I see it fulfilling. I see it with happiness. I see it with joy. I see it having a sense of rewarding for me. And once you start to do that, stretch it out a little more. Hey, I see, I'm going to vision my week. I mean, what if you woke up every day, or maybe at the end of every week, and you said, let me just vision out my next week? What could I create? Now, the thing is, this is going to start to build that vision muscle for you. It's going to start to build the ability for you to start to see the future you want. Then you could start to say, well, hang on a second. Let me vision my wealth. Let me vision my career. Let me vision my health. Let me vision my relationships. So, what I wanted to remind you tonight is every single person was born a visionary. You just might have lost your way a little bit. So maybe think about this. And if you think this is a cool concept, maybe type in cool in the chat bar and also share this with someone else.